Hello, YouTube.
When you arrive, came alongside to take me away, to lead me astray.
Hey, you guys. So today is gonna be sorry about that, a little different. I'm gonna talk to you guys about. It's gonna be a story time about my 14 and pregnant story and how my family found out and all of that. So keep on watching if you want to see about that. And sorry about the noise, my kids are running around at my mom's house.
Mommy, give me one.
That I was 14 when I met my boyfriend. We met in March of 2008. He was my aunt's neighbor, and so I had previously met him but not really got to know him, and I guess he had kind of aged up from the time I met him and changed completely, and I just thought he was very handsome. And so at first my mom she found out that we're talking. So my mom had found out that we're kind of talking, and she didn't want me with him, and so out of respect he came and asked my mom if he could be with me, and she said yes, since he asked me, she had asked him for permission. I was 14 at this time and he was 16. Yes, he was 16 years old. So we got together, and he lived in Ontario, I lived in Pomona, so it was not easy for us to see each other. I remember one time he even came on his bike, riding his bike all the way from Ontario to come and see me, and thankfully they gave him a ride back. But yeah, that was a couple times. So all that happened. Our relationship was pretty good in the beginning. We used to go out a lot, I mean with our families, like a lot of beach trips and just like, you know, adventurous things that you would do. And so April and March were good, if I'm correct. When did we get together? I think it was March 21st or something like that. I don't remember. It was a long time ago. Anyways, so comes April, everything's fine, normal, dandy, holding hands, going to the beach, going to mountain trips, just getting to know each other, always talking on the phone. Then May comes, and in May I had a singing event, and after that singing event I was invited with his family to go see some airplanes and stuff, and sorry about that. And then that was the first time we did something ever, and it wasn't my first time, and that's a whole nother story. Unfortunately, my virginity was kind of stolen from me, and I'm really not going to touch bases on that. It wasn't like completely like rape, and this is the first time I'm really talking about this, but it wasn't completely consensual, if that makes any sense, but we'll just leave it at that. So me and him have always decided that the first time I ever did anything, because this was totally consensual, was this time. So this time happens, and nothing happens for a long time. So we're doing our stuff, keep going out on places, and etc, etc. Then comes the end of May, and we decide to do it again one more time. And me not knowing anything about sex or nothing, was talked to me about condoms, about birth control, nothing. I mean, kind of knew you should use it, but I didn't know it was necessity, because he was like, oh, pull-out method, it'll work, blah 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 blah. So we did that, and a month later I took a test. Well, no, it wasn't even a month later, because that happened then. I was in 8th grade, you guys. I was in 8th grade. I did my promotion and everything. 4th of July comes, we're hanging out together, and he's like, I bought some tests, because I had already told him that my period hadn't came and all that. So I guess he had gone and get some tests, and so I go inside his bathroom and I take it, but me not knowing the instructions, because he just gave me the test and he's like, pee on it. I listened. I didn't know that even one little faint line like means you're pregnant. I thought it was just you'll most likely see a line. Like, I thought it was like see-through kind of color thing. Like, in order for it to be pregnant you, it had to be two like practically dark pink, dark red lines. So I have this faint line for some stupid reason. I thought it was like, that's the way it's supposed to look, I'm not pregnant. And I go and tell him, and he and I were excited because obviously we were young and we didn't know any better. And so a couple weeks passed and it still hasn't came. I came out in a quinceañera and everything, and he's like, you still haven't got it? I was like, no, I thought it was sent. And then I take another test, and now the test is bright red. And he's like, what happened? I thought you had taken the test. I was like, I'm sorry. I was like, the first time the line was faint. He's like, why didn't you tell me that it was faint? You just told me it was negative. It's like, I didn't know that that meant something. So all that time I was pregnant, I had no idea. The only ones I knew were me and him. I didn't know who to tell. My mom is very like Hispanic Mexican mom. I mean, she's born over here and everything, but she was raised with all those like, you don't have kids young, etc., before marriage, blah blah blah. Anyways, so I'm pregnant. We don't know who to tell, and so we're terrified, scared. Like, I don't even know to tell my mom or to tell my sister, because my sister is very overprotective of me too. So this secret, I kept it for a long time, just me and him. And we finally tell his stepmom if she could take me to the doctors and see what could be done, because I mean, obviously we were young, we were trying to keep it a secret. And she's like, unless you tell your parents what's going on, I'm not doing nothing for you guys. So that question was that was out of the question. So there was no help there. Sorry about that, I had to go inside. So that was out of the question. So comes that, like, we tell her around August, and Memorial Day's coming up. We take a trip with his family to the beach, and everything's normal, everything's fine, we're okay. I mean, we have our little arguments here and there, especially since I'm pregnant. He's like, what are you gonna do about it? And I'm like, I have no idea, I don't even know what to do. He's like, abortion was in the question. He was like, I want you to get an abortion. And I was like, well, how do I do that? I had no idea. I'm like, I'm telling you, I had no clue about this stuff. I don't know what the heck I was doing. I don't know what I was thinking. But I was like, help, you know, like, I can't do this alone. And this guy had already gotten another girl pregnant, and she had had an abortion, and I had no idea. He didn't really tell me this until later on, and he's like, I don't know. So he knew what he was doing, he just decided not to take the precautions. Anyways, so all this is going on, and he's like, what are you gonna do? We need to figure something out. Finally, I go to the doctor's office. Obviously they confirm I'm pregnant. I knew that. And they started like, well, what do you want to do? They told me how many months I was. I was like, well, I don't know, I'm scared. And then surprisingly, the nurse was one of my old nurses. So I mean, obviously patient confidentiality, so she couldn't call my mom or tell her anything. And so I just left it at that. I was pregnant, I knew how many months I was. Okay, so be it. Memorial Day was in September. I go to the fair. Because this September, the LA County Fair comes around here in September. My sister and I go. I didn't want my family to find anything suspicious, so of course I went on a couple of rides, and I shouldn't have, I know, but I knew if I didn't get on the ride, they were gonna know something was terribly off. And you may guys ask, how did you make your mom not know that you were pregnant? Well, you guys, I was very intelligent in this aspect. I kept asking her to buy me pads. I mean, my mom's not like, let me go see, you know, no. So I made her continue buying me feminine products, and every other couple months or something like that, for she wouldn't even suspect anything was going on. So, because I mean, that would have been the first red flag, right? She's not even using feminine products. But I was smart enough to be like, I need those, supposedly, I need them. So I went on roller coasters and rides at the fair to not cause any suspicion. And at the same time, my sister was pregnant with her second child, and since all the attention was towards her, I was just like, go ahead, pay attention more to her than me. It's fine, I don't mind, better for me. And Then I started having really bad morning sickness. I was always puking in the morning. Thank God I wasn't puking during the day, but I was quite often puking. Then my PE teacher's like, I already know. And I was like, excuse me? He pulled me aside one day when I was trying to enter the class. He's like, I already know that you're expecting and you need to go to the nurse. And so I go to the nurse, and she tells me all these things and talks to me about it, asks me if my parents know. And I explained to her that at that time I only had my mom and my stepdad and my sister and everything, and I hadn't told nobody about what was going on. And so she explains to me and tells me, do you want help? Or I was like, I don't know what to do right now. I just want to like keep it on the low. I don't know what I was thinking. Anyways, so my teachers, some of them knew already. I was not throwing up at school, but I was throwing up at home in the morning. If I smelled trash, I would throw up. I couldn't have my teeth dirty. I would always be brushing my teeth. I don't know how they didn't know this suspicious or any circumstance, because I threw up in front of my family sometimes, because just smelling the trash, like I said, I'd want to puke, or I would puke. So that's all of September that starts going on. Then comes October. Yeah, they still don't know, you guys. They still have no idea. By this time, what? I got pregnant at the end of May. June, July, August, September, October. I'm like about 5 months. And I still haven't told nobody. People at school are noticing, and like I had friends trying to help me and convince me and talk to me about my options and all this other stuff. And I still was just being ignorant, ignoring it all, not telling anybody, at least not people at home. Then I see a fellow freshman student. We had English together, We had English together, and asked her, because I noticed a lot of kids were asking her questions like, oh, how is your pregnancy going? All this other stuff. And I asked them, like, well, how did you tell your parents? Because I came out clean to them. I'm like, I'm pregnant and I have no idea what to do. And she kind of talked me through it and all that stuff. So most of October passes. All my teachers practically know. My fellow students practically know. And we take a mini vacation to Rosarito, Mexico. So on my trip there, I was already getting like chunky. If I had my Facebook, I could probably my MySpace pictures, I could probably show you guys pictures, because I posted a lot on there. But unfortunately I can't get on there. I'll see if I can find any pictures and I'll insert them here, see if I can look around. Nobody knew I was pregnant, but you could definitely see a belly. There is a belly there, but it wasn't like pregnant belly. It looked like I was getting thick, that I was a very small petite girl. Like, I'm the biggest now that I've ever been, but I was a very tiny girl. So at that time my mom just thought I was getting chunky. I even rode a horse. I was trying, like I said, not to make anything suspicious. I didn't want anything to be out of the normal for them. So they just thought I was getting chunky. And let me just, if I can like kind of put it, I was kind of like, this is originally me, you could say. Like right now I'm chunky, but this was already me. Like I was looking like that on our trip, and I was already 5 months. And we come back. I go trick-or-treating Halloween, whatever, with my boyfriend. Nothing suspicious. Comes November. I think it's like a week, at the beginning of November, like a week or two before Thanksgiving. And me and my boyfriend have a date to the movies or the mall or something like that. And they're gonna take me, so I got ready. I put on some clothes, got all dressed up. Well, to me, back dressed up. Back then I would have sweatsuit outfits. I loved sweatsuit outfits, and back then it was still like fashionable, you know, fancy couture or something. Like, I never had name brand, but I like to dress that way. So I put on my sweatsuit outfit and I put on a shirt. The biggest mistake I made, well, to me, that's what I thought, was putting on this shirt, because it was on the thinner side, like, you know, more like fitting shirt, and my belly button was sticking out already, you guys. And like I said, I had the bump already, a little bump, not nothing huge bump, nothing. And so I come outside, because my uncle's gonna take me on my date with my boyfriend. And my mom sees my belly button, and so does my aunt. And my mom's like, hey, what's up with that? And I was like, I don't know, I've always had it like that, which I have. When I was younger, I had an Audi. She's like, no, it doesn't look normal to me. She's like, how do you know you're not pregnant? Her and my aunt asked me. I'm like, well, you get your period. They're like, wrong answer. You don't have intercourse. At that moment, I knew it was done. I was caught. Like, they knew everything that was going on, and it was done for me at that moment. They let me go, and then I came back, and the next day, the first thing in the morning that they did was go to the store, go to my pregnancy test, and they watched me go pee on the test. My mom saw that I was pregnant, you guys, when I was 6 months pregnant, more 6 months pregnant. And I'll never forget, like, she cried tremendously. Obviously I cried. She's like, why hadn't you told me? And well, you guys, I kind of grew up, my mom would hit me a lot, so I honestly thought that they're gonna kill me. Why I thought that, I have no idea, but I was terrified. And soon after that, she takes me to he wasn't our family doctor no more, because he had stopped taking Medi-Cal. It was pure Medicare kind of thing. I don't know, can't explain it. So he's seen me growing up. He knew me since I was little. My mom called the office, and they're like, you guys, Lisa's pregnant, I don't know what to do. And they're like, bring her in, because that doctor has ultrasound tech machine and everything. So they check me, and they tell my mom how many months I am, and supposedly that the gender is a girl. Okay, so all this happens. My mom and my family, my mom tells my sister talks to me and slaps me. Yes, you guys, she slapped me. She's like, you're so stupid. And I was like, no shit, like, I had no idea. Yes, you guys, so that happened. And the father of my child tells me, well, I'm glad you know what you're doing, but I'm dipping, like, I'm gone, deuces, you're gonna have to fend for yourself and this child. And I was like, really, you're gonna leave me? He's like, yeah. And he's like, it's because I don't want my dad to know and all this. And I was like, well, your dad's gonna find out, because my family's not gonna just sit here and like let it slide. So before he could go and tell his dad, oh hey, I decided to break up with her and blah blah blah, probably make up these lies, I tell my family, hey, we need to go talk to his dad. So so they go, and we drive over there to where he lived, and they start talking to his dad. They're like, what is this about? And we're like, well, it's a serious talk. My sister, my mom, my then at that time sister's husband, father of her children, we all went over there, and they're like, well, Lisa's pregnant, and here's the proof. They had the ultrasound pictures and all that stuff. And he was like, okay, well. And then he was talking to his son and telling him, you had known better than this, we had already gone through this, you're not gonna leave, you're gonna help her and take care of this child, and all this other stuff. So he's like, well, can I talk to her? And they were like, yeah. So we went to his room, and we're talking. He's like, I'm sorry for everything that I had told you to do, I'm sorry for thinking about leaving you, I'm sorry about all this other stuff. And I was like, okay. So we stayed together, and our families knew that we were having our child. And mind you, this person had lied to me about so many things. Like, supposedly they were advanced in high school, and it was a lie. And then they were going to continuation school, and I had no idea who this person that I fell in love with was, because they lied to me about a lot of things. But I didn't know that they were in continuation until I think like almost after I had my son, because he's like, oh, you should come to my school, blah 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 blah, they have childcare. Shout out to Valley View. So like a silly girl that I am, instead of staying at my homeschool with, I had good grades, I decided to go follow him over there, for my son can be there, and I could have his help, and I can do my studies, and I know that my child's well taken care of. So comes January, I had been going to school all this time. I couldn't carry my books. Oh, my birthday passed. I had turned, comes December. After Thanksgiving and everything, everybody knew. His birthday was on December 4th, and mine's December 6th. So we celebrated our birthdays. Everything was fine. He turned 17, I turned 15. And then comes January, I was having a lot of like minor contractions, but I would have them a lot because I would do a lot of walking. I had to still carry my books. So I told my mom, you know what, I can't attend school no more. I'm feeling really tired, and not tired because like it was hurting me, like just tired because I was having contractions. It was hurting me a lot down there. Like forget the books and all that, like I could handle that, but I was feeling the contractions going on during class, or especially when I was walking during classes, because my classes were all spread out. And Montclair High School is not so much of a little high school, and then my classes were on opposite sides. So I get pulled out of school, and then I start studying like homeschool kind of a thing. So I was doing that, and then comes February 21st, I bring to this world. It was at 2 in the morning when I started feeling really bad contractions. Thank God his dad's like, I have a feeling that she's gonna give birth. Is it okay if I spend the night? My mom had said yeah, his dad had said yeah, and everything. Mind you, this guy was, like I said, besides all the lies that he ever did, he honestly was semi at those times a good boyfriend. He for Valentine's Day bought me a whole bunch of roses and a whole bunch of other stuff. To me, I had never seen the guy that I know now. Roses, teddy bears, big cards, small cards. It was every occasion, birthday, Valentine's, everything. It was big. He always surprised me with a whole bunch of stuff. So Valentine's passes and everything. The next week, I was crazy, you guys. I still went to the snow and went down sliding with my big old belly, because like I said, a week later I had my son after I went sledding in the snow with my sister and stuff. But yes, so comes the next weekend. It's I think Friday night, if I'm correct, or Thursday night, something like that. He's like, can I go spend the night? I have a feeling she's gonna have a baby. Sure enough, you guys, I wake up in the middle of the night, 2 a.m. telling my mom, hey, I'm feeling a lot of pain, and then so I lay down next to her for a little bit. My baby daddy's in my room, and we started counting my contractions, like, you know, the contractions you're having in the time in between. Sorry, there's a big truck passing. I'll let that pass. The truck's right there. Okay, so we're counting my contractions. We see that they're not improving, that they're only getting stronger and longer. So I come in when I wake up, the father of my son, and like, hey, I think I'm going into labor. I had already packed my bags and everything, and he's like, okay, let's go do this. We get our stuff. So we get ready, we get in the car. On the way there, every little bump, I could feel every contraction crystal clear, like it hurt even more. So I get to the hospital, they send me in, and I think I'm already like 3 or 4 centimeters. After they checked me and everything, they're like, well, it was already like about 4 or 5 in the morning. I think it was 4. And they're like, well, you need to walk for an hour. And then my mom, being the nurse that she is, knew that they were doing that because they have schedule change. They changed nurses at around that time. So anyways, I walk, and the pain is only getting worse and worse. And I even puked while walking, and I seen this other girl walking back and forth like nothing was happening, but I'm guessing her contractions weren't as bad as mine, and I was puking. And my mom's like, you know what, she can't walk no more, you guys need to put her in. And they're like, you can't tell me this, I know what you guys are doing. Just because you guys are having a shift change doesn't mean she's gonna have to wait for you guys, all this other stuff. So finally they make me walk all the way to the room, and my sister shows up, his sister shows up, and everything. And at around, I think it was 9 in the morning or 8 in the morning, I'm not sure, I think it was 9:34, something like that, I gave birth to my beautiful little boy. Oh my gosh. So at that time I gave birth to my little boy. I was in labor, I'd say, well, like I said, it was like 2:30 when I woke up my mom. 3:30, 4:35, 36, 37, 30, 8:30, 9:30. I had him in 7 hours, which I think for my first time I did good. I pushed him in less than like 20 minutes. He was out, alive, safe, no pain medication, you guys. I had him completely natural. And well, that is my story for my pregnancy and labor. If you guys want to know more, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and tell me that you guys want another video about after labor and how our relationship went with the father of my child. The person back then also isn't the person he is now, but it has not been always easy, and I'm thankful for everybody who was there to support me.